Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Highnesses, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Secretary General, the COVID-19 Great Reset has injected a new sense of urgency into the discussion of science and technology globally. While we all mourn the loss of lives around the world and the adverse impact on the livelihood of the humanity, it is clear that science and technology have undergone a profound change in the last 18 months. Simply put, the scale and scope of the fourth industrial revolution underway before the COVID-19 rupture has been accelerated significantly. Science, technology, and digitalization are indeed revolutionizing all dimensions of our lives, livelihoods, and relationships. Development of the vaccines in record time, bringing hope to billions of men and women haunted by COVID-19 around the world, is just one example. Initial assessment of the global context highlight the following trends. First, science and technology need to be understood as ecosystems of innovation, entrepreneurship, collaboration and competition, state sponsorship, and societal support. The velocity and complexity of the fourth industrial revolution, as explained by Klaus Schwab, makes catching up for the laggards and slow responders ever more difficult. Second, state support for research and development and the creation of the clusters of development, as demonstrated in the case of Apple, has been essential and will continue to be significant. The functions of the state are expanding a degree of accountability, efficiency, effectiveness, transparency, and the consequent legitimacy dividend is now directly connected to the extent to which states embrace science, technology, and digitalization in service of their citizens. Third, digitalization, as demonstrated by Alibaba, Tata Consulting Services, Siemens, Unilever, and other cutting-edge companies, is radically changing the definition of services in the landscape of competitiveness. Increasingly, national and regional competitiveness is going to be defined by the number of unicorns, companies that achieve the billion mark through innovative intellectual property. Women, youth, and named groups participating in leadership and management of these companies serve as indication of inclusion and dynamism. Fourth, economic strategy is increasingly becoming a choice between stakeholder capitalism and state capitalism, each with its own distinctive advantages, constraints, and implications. Fifth, a tale of two middle classes, as documented by Gillen, is unfolding. While the old middle classes in Europe and the United States are at serious risks of downward economic mobility, the new middle classes in emerging markets are likely to witness the prospects of upward economic and social mobility. Women and the elderly are likely to control substantial wealth by 2030, thereby determining choices in the consumer market and style of life. One projection is, by 2030, middle-class consumers in emerging markets will outnumber those in the United States, Europe, and Japan by 5-1, which is a twofold increase from 2020. This rapidly changing context offers an opportunity to the OIC to utilize the advances of the fourth industrial revolution to achieve combined development in science, technology, and digitalization. Establishment of an observatory for science, technology, and digitalization to assess and monitor global trends and make the lessons available to member countries could serve as a catalyst for moving forward. By serving as a source of global knowledge and trends, as well as the repository of experience of member states, the observatory would allow the OIC to offer its member states policy recommendations tailored to their specific context in roadmaps to achieve convergence and partners to work with. In the short term, OIC could serve as a facilitator for sharing experiences of digitalization among member states, e-commerce, e-education, in e-medicine, or fields of cooperation that could allow countries like Afghanistan to benefit immensely from the policy, advice, investment, and experience of countries like the United Arab Emirates. Timely advice in January of 2020 from Sheikh Tahnoon of Abu Dhabi on the potential risks of corona and what he termed the corona effect on the global economy enabled us to take the threat seriously and adopt a whole of government and whole of society measures that enable us to minimize the adverse impacts of the two first waves of COVID-19 on the lives and livelihoods of the Afghan people. We are also benefiting from the advice of UAE experts supported by Abu Dhabi Fund to launch a holistic strategy of digitalization of the state, economy, and society. Let me conclude by thanking the government and people of Kazakhstan for hosting the first OIC Summit on Science and Technology, and the United Arab Emirates for the current virtual summit, and the Secretary General for stewardship of the process. I hope that this virtual summit will result in recommendations that would position OIC as a hub for harnessing the potential of the fourth industrial revolution for the Ummah. Denied the foundational right of a society to peace for 43 years, we, the people and government of Afghanistan, have a sense of urgency to make up for the lost time. We thank all member states of the OIC for your support for our noble quest for peace and development, and hope that together we can once again make our Islamic civilization and culture synonymous with science and technology, and enable us to overcome the third wave of COVID-19 and other global and regional threats together. Thank you.